So this is a delicious salad, Jicama apple and pear salad, and this is comes courtesy of my good friend JJ Virgin. So the unfortunate part is that where I live in Toronto, I can't find Jicama, and I know I've had it a couple times, but for whatever reason the stores are not carrying it at this point of the year, and I'm really disappointed because it's such a great root vegetable. It actually looks a bit like a turnip or a sweet potato. And the cool thing is that when you slice it up as you would in this recipe, like the flavors are just unbelievable. It's so fresh, so juicy. It's one of the most delicious unknown foods that if you can get your hands on it, please put it in this recipe. So in the meantime, I have everything else. We've got apple, pear, cabbage, cilantro, and some green onions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm making a serving for myself. So I'm gonna use half of all the ingredients I have here. And so I'm going to cut an apple in half. I'll just put that half aside. I'll take half of this pear and I will put that half aside as well. And we'll take a cabbage and we're going to run everything through the food processor. So there's very little work involved here. So cabbage, again, it's got a nice bite to it. And the reason for that is because it's got that great amount of sulfur that's really, really helpful for detoxification and all sorts of other great things. So that's and a very high source of glutamine, the amino acid that's really important for muscle repair and the health of the intestinal lining in your gut. So I'm just going to cut these into sizes that will fit down the food processor chute. I've also got a funny little story here. I don't know if you've seen the other video where we had a little technical glitch and I can't find the plunger for my food processor. So thinking on my feet as I do, I'm like, okay, well, why don't we use a mini cucumber? So we're using the mini cucumber as our plunger now. Seems to work out okay. Okay, so I've got like the mandolin blade on here, so we're just gonna shave all this down and make sure it's plugged in. Okay, so here we go. You ready? In goes the pear. In goes some cabbage. If I need to plunge it down, bust out the cucumber. That's right. So she also calls for red cabbage in this recipe. I'm not using any, and there goes the cucumber. So the cucumber is now part of the salad, and you know what? We'll just leave it in there. It's all good. It doesn't matter. So that is the unfortunate part. That's actually never happened. That's the first time it happened. I took my eye off the ball, and there we go. So instead of the jicama, we're using cucumber in the salad now. So I'll just continue with the pear. You could actually use the next piece of food to push the previous piece of food into the food processor. Just like so. I'll just finish off with a couple pieces of cabbage here. Okay, good, awesome. So, the trials and tribulations of working in a kitchen that's not yours. I may have mentioned this before. This is my brother's kitchen, and I don't have a lot of the utensils and stuff that I have at home, for instance, like measuring cups and stuff, but it's okay because we're still making this stuff work, and that's an important thing that I want to share with you is that even if you don't have a food processor plunger, you can still make this stuff happen. If you don't have an ingredient or two, you can still make these recipes. So I'm just going to take out all this goodness, throw it into the bowl, and that's good enough. I'm not going to eat all this. It's going to be a lot. Okay, so there is our it's almost like a slaw, like a salad slaw. And we're going to finish off by adding in some chopped green onion. Just discard those. So So you can do it like this. You can also, I mean, like you can cut these however you want. So I know that JJ, she cuts them in kind of matchstick sizes. So if you have a different blade on your food processor, you can do that. You can do it kind of like this, where it's a little more shaved down. It's really up to you. There's really no wrong way to do this. And I'm just chopping up some cilantro here. And that will go in. And then she calls for some apple cider vinegar and macadamia nut oil. I don't have macadamia nut oil. I've actually never used it. It's really good for you, but I've never actually used it. So we'll put in about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm just running it down the side of the bowl so that it allows everything in the bowl to get infused with that. And I'm going to use olive oil instead of the macadamia nut oil. So I'll put in about 1.5 tablespoons of that. And we'll just give it a little stir with the fork. And you know, the key with these types of salads is really, you know, the apple cider vinegar makes a big difference, because if you don't use this, if you don't use acids like apple cider vinegar or lemon juice with a lot of vegetables, you know, especially greens, they tend to taste pretty bland. So if you're not one that really enjoys vegetables, try adding in a bit of apple cider vinegar, try adding in a squeeze of lime or lemon, and it really does make a big difference. So let's give this a try. Das wunderbar. That's about all the German I know. Anyways, very good salad. Jicama, which we don't have in this one, unfortunately. It really breaks my heart. Apple and pears in there. And a beautiful side dish, very fresh, nice for the summertime or any other time of the year. Enjoy. Bon appetit.